the Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience. Back at it after Masters Week. The Heritage picks and preview. But we're not just going to gloss over what happened at Augusta. Geoff Fienberg wearing his best Patrick Reed gear.
Yeah, Patty Pink. It's the best I had in the closet to commemorate Patty's.
Patty getting you paid in your golf pool. Although I think I had 33 of the people from around the golf industry on the show. Not a single person mentioned Patrick Reed, myself included.
Did anyone mention Ricky?
I think one person may have picked Ricky to win. He was just playing so poorly coming in that no one really wanted to jump on the Ricky train. So it shows you that maybe if you take one of these elite guys who no one else is taking, John Rahm, Ricky Fowler were the two guys that were the contrarian plays from the top end of the DraftKings Millionaire Maker. If you started your team with those two, you did pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, just flawless golf from Patrick Reed. And I don't care to get into all this. Like, anyone that watches this show, or me and you, Pat, I mean, we've been big fans of his for a while. And we would even, before I think Spieth won that first Masters, when like Spieth was like whatever he was to 1 and Reed was like 110 to 1, we're like, they're the same great player. Well, obviously we're proven wrong, but to me, I don't care. I don't care what the future holds. The golden child and the bad guy have the same amount of jackets, and that just feels great. And all that other stuff, you know, with Reed's story, anyone that watches this, we all know that. Like, that's for other people.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
That's for other people.
Before we dig too much into the Masters recap, I do want to let everyone know if they just want to jump straight to the Heritage, check the description. There'll be time codes there. You don't need to listen to us gab on about what happened at Augusta, but just remember, give the episode a like. That goes a long way. Listen, we had huge, big numbers, huge, for the all the Masters content. Downloads, views, way up from each of the past 3 years, which is all I can really say. So I want to thank everyone out there for sharing it around. It means a lot. It helps keep the show free. So give the episode a like, and that's what really does help keep the show free. And become a member at Fantasy National. Some Fantasy National members hit big, and it's always nice to see. It wasn't me, because I had a disastrous week, and I got bailed out on Sunday, thanks to my main man, Russell Whalen. If it was not for the NYC punter, I would not have not lost my shirt.
Do tell.
Well, I was scanning Twitter. I had, I had these Spieth parlays.
Like exotic ones, like with Jags money line playoff wins.
Yeah. So they both, the most of the parlays, I believe I had 3 of them. So I had 3 of them. One was with the Jags money line, and the other 2 were with like Eagles under, Eagles to cover against Atlanta plus Jordan Spieth. So they all paid somewhere between like 28 and 35 to 1 and 40 to 1.
They're all sort of just like cussed. Made these insane, like, impossible, this team loses, therefore, parlays.
So I believe it was after Spieth hit his shot on 13 and got it close, and Reed had not made birdie on 12 yet and had given one back on 11.
And was in a bad spot on 11. Like, whether he had hit that, he had already laid up on 11. For sure.
He made bogey on 11.
Yeah.
So it was, did he make bogey or par on 11? He made
bogey, because he laid up and then he chipped over the water.
So I just saw a tweet just kind of come across because I was monitoring Twitter, and NYC punter was like, wow, it's like Reed is like almost a even money favorite here. Spieth is now plus 185. I was like, he's plus 185 to win live? I was like, I got to go check what the live payout is on this. And they're giving me 9.25 to 1 on those payouts. And I was like, cash out, cash out, cash out. I still have my 11 to 1 like outright.
Great call.
I let that ride, but...
And I guess that just shows.
Put it this way, I didn't win for the week because the rest of the card was god awful, but it saved me a lot of bucks.
And that shows just like Jordan Spieth, that name value, casual bettors, like he got in and people were like pounding, like they thought they were watching a Disney movie, that he was going to shoot 10 under.
I thought I was watching a Disney movie, man.
I was taking shots on both knees when he was lining up that putt on 13. I'd have thrown up, and then he hit it on 16. I was ready to throw up again.
I was enjoying it.
I was ready to throw up again. No, I didn't throw up once. Like, maybe I would have thrown up again. No, his heater was not for me.
Can we just say that Patrick Reed doesn't win this unless we don't have the strokes gain numbers? Like,
he putted better than Spieth in 15.
Yeah. He putted better than potentially anyone at the Masters ever.
Ever.
He made every putt.
And as you pointed out, his outstanding bounce back birdies.
Yeah, every time he made a
All
bogey,
day.
it just not only was it like a bounce back birdie situation. Every time he made a bogey, he made a birdie. No, every time he made a bogey, he made 3 birdies in a row.
When Ricky hit the putt on 18, I like kind of started to cry because at that point it was Patrick Reed or Ricky Fowler were winning the Masters. 2 players who I've long.
Financially would have been better for you if Ricky won.
Would have been a lot better because I had all those exotic parlays that weren't on cash out sites, but I wasn't even thinking that. And Reed hit that chip, or sorry, when Reed hit the flag on 17.
And stopped his ball from going 20 feet past the hole.
It was still like a 5-footer maybe, but
sure,
it
but
would
he's
have been
making
like,
those all.
yeah.
He missed what, 2 of them?
That would have been because I wanted that playoff for everything. Like for everything, I wanted that playoff. Fowler just, I don't know whether there's so. I know it's so easy to pick spots, but whether it was like 3 putts on Friday that missed by like an inch total around Amen Corner, or pretty much on Saturday, also on Friday, 3 putting 13 and 15 for pars, but he's still everything I believe he is.
Well,
he's everything I believe.
You can point to that though, the Ricky burning the putts, and he did on. Was it Friday? Was it Friday or Saturday? It was Saturday where he just kept missing. No, it was Friday.
Friday. That's
Friday.
He
just
kept,
by like half an inch.
Yeah, they were almost. Yeah.
But you can also look at the front 9 for Jordan on Friday and be like, well, there goes the tournament.
I know, and I can't say that without acknowledging like Ricky hitting like a 50-foot, like some
66
insane
par putt.
Putts on Saturday as well.
If you look tee to green, Spieth played the best. He really did, because he was still missing like 5-foot putts at certain points. He was just sticking it, and on Sunday it was sticking it.
The whole tournament was outstanding. From Spieth, like getting the early lead, and like it's over, like oh my god, like really, and then he comes out Friday with that horrible start, which I guess maybe you could
double bogey.
Double bogey.
No, double bogey.
Yeah, to start
like
on Friday,
bogey.
and that kind of like just changed everything. Everyone kind of got like right back in it. Even Friday, the leaders are like at 3 and Tiger's at 1 over, having not teed off yet. Like, I don't know, maybe he's going to go off and do something. I just thought it was all outstanding, but I'll say this. The player who should hang his head the lowest today, and proverbial, like just saying like relatively speaking, is that Rory McIlroy. I thought luck plays a role in everything. No player got luckier, in my opinion, and I took in a lot of this tournament, a lot. Even when I was in the car, I was listening on the radios, a lot. From his incredible, talented par saves on Thursday to what happened Saturday with Rory in terms of hitting the lip and getting like a 14-foot birdie putt out of a bunker that could have come right back in his face. His eagle, it wasn't pure. A lot of them usually aren't. But that thing was going like 20 feet past the hole on Saturday. Finding his ball in the azaleas. And so, like, I was worried that Rory survived by getting lucky. He hasn't even played, like, amazing yet. And then Sunday starts. And it's like he saves that great par on 1. And then the shot of shots, like the best shot other than Louis' albatross maybe we've seen there in years.
And then he misses it.
And at least 3 of them that he shouldn't have missed. For him to get ejected, I don't know, that's not a good look. And he tried to deflect that pressure off Patty. He tried to put all that pressure on Patty on Saturday night, deflecting it off himself.
Well, why wouldn't you?
That was his move.
That is the move,
yes,
though.
But I'll tell you this, maybe 1 wink less. Rory probably slept. Rory didn't sleep much better than Patty on Saturday, even if he had his majors. Because I'll tell you what, it's been 4 years since Rory's won a major. And I love the guy, and I think
it's only going to be 4 years and like 2 weeks. He's going to win the U.S. Open.
And I don't
Everyone's
disagree.
now picking Ricky to win. Ricky's not winning. Rory's winning.
So now, like, everyone's back on.
Everyone's back on Ricky, and he's going to be like the betting favorite by the time that we get to the U.S. Open, and he'll probably win the Players in between. Everyone, oh my God, Ricky!
But when you've gone 4 years without a major, and you're as talented and as amazing as Rory is, that's like having like, your nuts itch, and like there's no way to stop the itch. Like you can rub them all day, it's not going to stop.
But there's also
itching.
the extra layer of pressure for
Grand
Rory
Slam.
for the Grand Slam.
He
doesn't feel that at the other majors.
No,
He just doesn't.
And it's been 7 years since he had a realistic chance to win this event.
He had a chance to win this time around. He took himself out of it early.
No, but I mean,
he had it. But like even like the past few years, besides, so like the past few years when he top 10, he backdoored his top 10.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
He was never in contention. He was in contention yesterday.
No, my point being is it was the first time he was in contention since his crazy since his collapse of 7 years ago. So the pressure, even though Reed had never won a major, to me the pressure was like almost equal on Sunday morning, Saturday night, however you want to put it. And me and you would sit here a lot, Pat, and it maybe people who are new to this think it's easy to say on this Monday morning, but there's not a doubt in my mind that if you were to pick any player on tour who you would trust the most, who hasn't won a major, to hold that position Reed held, who would be your pick?
It would be Reed.
It would be Reed.
I've seen Reed close out tournaments with great players before.
I'm just saying, and that's the reason like we like betting him because
potentially Ricky too.
Yeah, but Ricky's more of like that chaser. You'd have been like, no.
Ricky was in prime spot to do what he did. If it was Ricky with 3 strokes, I don't think he would have won.
But that's sort of my point. Like Reed is that guy that you always think like when he gets into those situations, like you trust him, even though he hasn't won. I mean, he had his WGC.
And he won in the FedEx Cup last year. 2 years ago, sorry. 2 years ago, he won the FedEx Cup.
In the FedEx Cup, he didn't win the FedEx Cup.
No, he won the first leg, the Barclays. But that's also a great field.
Yeah. So, and it's exciting, and now there's not a doubt in the world the 2 best players without majors are Ricky and Rahm.
Yes.
And I guess if you had to pick a third, it'd be Hideki, maybe.
Yeah, Hideki's around there too. Or Adam Hadwin. Maybe the Heritage is a major. Maybe he can win that. I will say John Rahm made a big fan of me on Sunday. Everyone was just bitching and moaning about his bitching and moaning, but like I love it. I just love how angry he gets. It's the same reason people hate Hatton and the reason that I really like Hatton. I like that they get pissed off. I like it.
Doesn't bother me.
It doesn't bother me at all either.
It's part of it.
It's just whiny fucking golf fans.
He's acknowledged what he needs to work on. I would say he's better today. He's less whiny today than he was.
Listen, if you're going to shoot, what do you shoot, 67, 69 on the weekend? If melting down off the tee and getting pissed off helps you do that, do it every time.
Every time. And it's not like he doesn't acknowledge it. It's something he consciously tries to work on, and he's so young.
Do we forget, like, Tiger just being furious every time he used to hit it into the woods? Swearing, throwing, not necessarily throwing clubs, spitting.
Oh.
Remember how hard of a time people gave Sergio when he spat in the hole at Carnoustie after he missed the putt to go to the playoff with Patty? Like, oh, what a disgrace. Like, fuck off. Seriously. Also, if people watch the live cut sweat show with you and I, they watch me lose a couple grand on Jason Duffner. So that was probably worth tuning into. I was in a real bad state of mind for like 10 minutes. I'm over it now.
One more thing. Because he's going to be like super popular going forward. I know like I'm almost on this Finau or die movement. What he did was miraculous. I see he's like 100 to 1 to win the US Open. Was he just awesome because he was never actually like contending?
Potentially, but
it was fantastic, wasn't it?
Listen, as someone who loves Tony Finau, I love it.
Yeah, and anyone who is part of our universe made those notes. Finau, Cam Smith, Masters 19, can't wait for an
Also, by the way, if it toughens up, and he made some bad shots on the weekend, but I wasn't actually joking about Adam Hadwin. The guy
played fine, yeah.
He needs to get one of those bad Willett years, Zach Johnson years, and he has a shot at winning the Masters. He's not going to win this. He's not going to win a minus 15. That's just not happening for him. But if it's like minus 4, minus 5, one of the really difficult years, like the years that Matthew Fitzpatrick gets himself into it, he's one of those guys that can stick around with the putting and short game. I think so. Kisner as well.
But Cam Smith's going to win the putting and short game one.
He's not the best putter. Great short game.
He puts it
not
to 4 feet on every
That's
hard chip.
That helps. We didn't see any Dustin on Sunday.
He just couldn't get it going on Saturday. He was out there with Spieth.
He was with Spieth. Neither of them could get it going.
Just couldn't get it going. Dustin, Friday missed a few putts. I'm sorry, Thursday just missed some shorties. Friday had that great day, right? He had that 500 day to kind of put him in a spot. Just burned too many lips.
I was impressed with Rahm's putting. Like, he was standing over these, like, 12-foot putts. We're like, that's going in. And he was making them all day.
Made a great par save on 12 yesterday.
What do you think was the most impressive shot?
Of the whole tournament, Leishman's approach for Eagle on Saturday was pretty awesome. Was that 15?
I think
12.
I think
13?
I guess Rory's shot too is excellent, but Reed's putt on 12 yesterday.
Amazing.
I was just like, oh, here we go. It's like because after he made the bogey, it's like, oh, maybe he'll go full speed and put it in the water here. Then I got a clear path to Jordan winning this thing, and he put it over. I was like, all right, there's a 2-putt for you, in. Same as on 3, in. It's just like, oh man, like miss one of these, miss one of these, and he just wasn't missing. I do like how, although the Imagine Dragons thing was pretty funny, and people were losing it about that. Nick Faldo just constantly referencing Imagine Dragons. That's what Patrick Reed listens to on the range. But just the announcers, the media, just being so pissed off Reed won, really. I really enjoy it.
Some of the headlines were like insulting. Like it or not, Patrick Reed is your Masters champ? Blow me. I'm so happy he won the big one. And guess what? One guy. You see who's there? The first guy, only real guy there to shake his hand when he won?
In fairness, Matt Kuchar loves everybody.
It wasn't Matt Kuchar, it was Bubba.
Matt Kuchar was hanging with Reed's wife when he was on 18, like pumping her up.
Yeah, because I think they're like tennis buddies or something.
Yeah, Bubba was the first one to shake his hand.
Yeah. The part. Can you imagine if Ricky won? I was telling my wife, like the whole tour, I feel would have been there waiting.
Well, they all owe it to Ricky because he stands there when they win.
Yes, everybody would have been there. Like, oh my God, it'd still be going on if Ricky won, at least in my house.
Yeah, you wouldn't have made it in today.
No, and yeah, it was great. I thought it was such a fabulous Masters.
My final thought on it was it really couldn't have worked. I guess it would have worked out better if Spieth or Ricky won in terms of how the PGA Tour wants it. But
Tiger?
They got Tiger and Phil to stick around the weekend. They got all this excitement from Tiger and Phil potentially contending, so the ratings were super high. And then you got a final leaderboard of Reed and Spieth and Rahm and Ricky and DJ and even Jason Day and Justin Rose and Justin Thomas. They were all there. Like when you looked at
Stenson.
All the people that you want to advertise that people aren't as acquainted with as we are. Like my dad who's tuning in on Sunday, like, oh, these are the guys. And they were all there. It was incredible.
It was incredible.
And Bubba was there too.
There was a moment on Saturday, like kind of before Reed kind of like took it by the nuts, where it was like orgasmic, like how incredible it was happening.
Yeah, people can shit on the official world golf ratings all they want, but when you started to look at all the players, it was all the players at the top.
Will that be a theme with me? I guess the Masters, the field is small, it's kind of conducive. Even though that doesn't happen, like, it doesn't always happen like that. You get that feeling that, like...
And the old-timers all got their due, too, because they were able to watch VJ, Freddie Couples, and Bernhard Langer, and Phil, who's an honorary member of the Seniors Club.
And it's easy to say it feels like every major is going to be like that, but...
It's not.
It does feel like that.
It does feel like that's always going to happen, but that rarely happens.
Yes.
All right.
And even Fleetwood Saturday. Oh, man. Sorry.
I was getting all fired up.
On Fleetwood Saturday. That was amazing.
Oh, and the best part was they didn't even show him.
Oh, till 15, till his approach on 15, you didn't see nothing.
But even on Sunday, like, we got no Fleetwood, and I get that he took himself out of it early, but like no first tee shot on one, like he's in the third to last group here.
Yeah, Stenson birdied that hole. You didn't even know where Tommy was.
But Fleetwood, almost like the first two rounds with Fleetwood, when he was playing with Tiger, like you would have to see his playing partner. Be like, oh, is that Tommy's ball right there? Oh, he's very close.
One more thing, because it was probably the easiest bet of the weekend, and I'm not a Spieth guy.
Yeah, if it was so easy, I didn't make it.
Spieth to beat Justin.
Oh, on Sunday?
Yesterday. Any other course on the planet in 2018, I will pick Justin Thomas on a Sunday to beat Jordan Spieth. Not that course. And you saw exactly what happened, and I'm pretty sure it was a pick.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even look at the head-to-heads on Sunday. I should have. Jordan next year at the Masters?
Oh, my God. It's favored, right?
You'd have to. Yeah, you have to.
And then
be
what,
favored.
Tigers 2?
Probably.
Tied
if,
with
Ti-
Ricky.
if Tiger's still,
Tied with Ricky.
Yeah,
for
if,
second
if
favorite.
Tiger's still healthy, then yeah, he's probably. If he gets a win between now and next year's Masters, he's probably the favorite.
And I don't know, we didn't really talk about it, but the expectations got ramped up like so high because of like the early success. But like big picture from where we were at Christmas, it's all fantastic. His anytime win, I still feel for the year is very much happening. A major, unlikely. Carnoustie because it's short, and if you're really on with certain aspects of your game, it seems like it will allow for somebody.
The big reason we didn't really love Tiger so much heading into this week is he couldn't hit his driver. He hit his driver great for most of the week. He just couldn't hit an iron all of a sudden.
Some embarrassing approaches for him.
Embarrassing chips, too.
Yeah, but the approach is like crushing it, and he's not. Yeah, couldn't hold the greens.
Phil provided some excitement, like when he whiffed on the shot from the woods. But he was like, I didn't look at the final numbers, and obviously he did make the most birdies in the field, but I bet you he was close to the top 10 in total birdies. Because he'd be like, birdie, 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 triple, double, triple, birdie, 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 eagle.
Sorry.
He was just all over the place.
Ricky made one bogey the whole weekend.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Only one bogey?
Because he went without a bogey on Saturday. I know that for a fact. And then he hit one approach really long early in his round. It took him a while to get that first birdie.
Well, Saturday was easy. Because there was a couple guys who played, I think Rom was bogey-free, Ricky was bogey-free, Woo was bogey-free.
Tommy bogeyed 18.
Yeah. Just like Casey went bogey-bogey to
Oh, that was so funny to
finish up.
Watching Casey yesterday.
Casey's in the field this week. You want to get to the Heritage?
Yeah, it's time.
Let's do it. The Heritage, the RBC Heritage, Harbortown Golf Links, one of the shorter, it's the diametric opposite of Augusta. We're back to a Pete Dye course. This is the Pete Dye swing before the players. We have this, we have Zurich, and then we have the players, all Pete Dye courses.
Okay, did you hear that at the Zurich, in the final 2 rounds, the teams are getting like entrance music?
Oh, that's awesome.
And
I did not hear that.
And they get a pick it, obviously.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I would like to be a consultant for that.
I would just be like, if someone was, my team would be having a wrestling.
How many do you think go with wrestling music? Do you think more people go with wrestling music or country music for their entrance theme?
Wrestling.
I feel like there's a big crossover between country music and golf.
I would agree, and that crossover that I'm a very small part of between
Golf and
wrestling. Yeah.
I'd say country music, although there's a lot of Euros in the field. Who knows? They would have electronica.
Yeah, there's not really. Like, I don't know if, like, WWE's sending Patrick Reed a championship belt
They
today.
should.
They should! The bad guy!
They should send him the Razor Ramon vest. Maybe some chains to go along with it, an authentic toothpick.
Yeah.
So you can throw it at the camera.
Sorry, so before I officially go, that's Golden Child 1 jacket, bad guy 1 jacket. I don't care what history holds. Or the future.
Heritage. 7,099 yards, par 71, back on Bermuda grass from bent grass. Like I mentioned, Pete Dye course. Shorter hitters, accuracy, hit some greens in regulation. Smallest greens on tour, lowest driving distance off the tee of any course on tour. So for key stats, when I'm looking at it, I'm not necessarily focusing on driving accuracy because you don't have to hit the fairway here. You just have to not be able to put it into the woods. But you do want to be on the proper side of the hole. It's a lot like Quail Hollow in that way, a lot like the Masters in that way. There are right spots to miss in. It's just you can't venture too far off the fairway because then you have some real trouble. A lot of people like to call this the Luke Donald Open. Luke Donald has played this event in the 9 of the past 10 years. So in his last 9 starts, he has finished inside the top 3 7 times. Second or third. Never won.
So this is like his U.S. Open to Phil.
Yes. he's begging for an RBC Heritage win.
Oh,
he's also incredibly undercursed. He is Tim's one and done pick.
Of course. And I assume, he's 30 to 1 probably?
No, he's 60 to 1. Top 10 bet? Top 5 bet? Do you really want to bet Luke Donald to win?
No.
No, neither do I.
No.
Watch this be the year. This is always the distinct mark that course.
I like Luke, but I just look at the list, and even though it's not the strongest field, I'm convinced
It's stronger than it normally is.
I'm just convinced someone in this field will be better than Luke Donald.
Me too.
Period. So he's not.
He knows all the tricks of this course, though. Like, even when you see, because scrambling's so important this week, that, like, you'll see him from, like, this really awkward position after, like, missing green on a par 3. It's like when you see Fred Couples play 11 at the Masters. He always plays off that stupid bank and rolls it to the middle of the green. Luke Donald does that here. Then he makes every putt within, like, 15 feet because he's Luke Donald on Bermuda grass. Bermuda Luke. That's what they call him. At least that's what I hear. So, for me, strokes gained approach is going to be the big thing. I rarely have strokes gained putting into my build for things, but I will be looking at that this week. I'm going to look back at Pete Dye. You know, just players play well on Pete Dye courses. There's a certain thing. Like, look back at the winners of the Heritage. We had Wes Bryan last year, Brendan Grace the year before that, Matt Kuchar, Jim Furyk, Graham McDowell. Like, there's a certain type of player that tends to play well. Now, the field is stronger than it normally is for the Heritage. I would still lean towards those type of players more than anything, right?
Always here.
We even got Steve Stricker in the field, who's live here, by the way.
I would agree. This is the type of event, if he's ever going to get it.
If he's got another shot here,
yeah,
it's here, the Wyndham, the John Deere, the shorter tracks where Dustin can't come out and bomb the field away.
Yeah, his presence is strange. I mean, I know why he's here, but just seeing him on the list is awkward, and then you wonder, like, he could just tear it apart, or he could just not give a what.
Dustin or Steve Stricker?
Dustin.
Oh, yes. So, yeah, let's get to the top of the board as it pertains to the field. Dustin Johnson is here. He is a Team RBC member. So, why not play in the RBC Heritage? And all the players have to play in every tournament once every 4 years. So, like you mentioned, knock it out. 2 birds with 1 stone. He's the favorite 8.5 to 1. Paul Casey,
in and of itself
14
seems...
to 1. Matt Kuchar, 20 to 1. Leishman, 28 to 1. Cam Smith off the Fresh Masters, probably got his odds cut by a third, is now 30 to 1. Harmon's 33. List is 35. Hatton's 33. Webb Simpson's 33. Hadwin's 33. Cantlay 35. Poulter 35. Grillo, Kevin Kisner, all 40 to 1. Brendan Grace withdrew because he is having a baby. He won this tournament 2 years ago.
It's funny, like, we've never really had to go that deep when talking about the top of the board. Like, it's just, like, we're going very...
Well, I think this week boils down to, do you think that the Casey, DJ are going to win? I don't, so I really like this 35 to 1 area. Also, I'm saving some of my money for this week. The past 5 winners of the Heritage have all come from at least 3 shots down on Sunday. It's a course where guys come back. And last year, I know a lot of people were on Wes Bryan. I was not. I jumped in 25 to 1 on Sunday morning, and boom,
wow,
get a winner.
That was awesome. Wore the pink pants, went to Taco Bell after the win.
First leg of the tartan swing, too.
Oh, the real jacket.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. So, as you were saying, Dustin, I'm with you. I'm sort of in this, he's just sort of checking a box. Well, you could make some local ties.
Yeah, he's from South Carolina.
For Dustin here.
Wes Bryan became the first native South Carolinian to win the Heritage last year. This is the 50th time this tournament's been played, too.
I'm not looking to bet Dustin, but you could make the argument that the number is, like, strong for him relative to what you normally have to pay. And when you bet Dustin, the other players, your Spieths, your Rorys, those
he just went off at 10 to 1 to win the Masters. Now he's 8.5 to 1 to win the Heritage. So, like, what you're saying.
Yeah, that's sort of what I'm saying. So you can make a case blindly that there is very strong, like, line value to DJ. I don't know. Is he going to hit his driver? He wouldn't even have to hit it once if he didn't want to, or he could literally just try to hit it as far as he can and not get in real trouble and chip it up all week.
But like you mentioned to me before we came on here, he's there to shake hands Wednesday night.
Yeah,
that's why he's in Hilton.
If I have to make the guess, yes. Again, if he goes train on this course, it might happen. Yeah. But I'm not really there. This is a card you don't start till you're in the 30s.
So for me, right away, 2 names as soon as they opened that I jumped on. I bet Webb Simpson at 33 to 1. I've been eyeing this tournament for Webb. Now that he's putting a little bit better, I like that a lot. Remember, he was in contention here last year, couldn't get anything going on Sunday. Now he's putting better. Maybe he can do it this time around. Also, real hot Sunday. You talk about Rory having the luckiest round. Webb Simpson had the luckiest round of the week, Sunday at the Masters.
The best tweet I saw all of yesterday, I don't even know where it came from. It was just a picture of the guy that trolled his U.S. Open ceremony.
Oh yeah, I'm coming.
It's like, Webb, I'm coming. I'm coming. Hold on, Webb, I'm coming. Oh yeah, great. He might have won. Yeah, might have won. Was he in the Millie Maker winner?
No.
Was Cam Smith in the Millie Maker winner?
No.
Really?
Oh, maybe he was. The Millie Maker winner was Reed.
Ricky.
No. No, I had it earlier. Henley.
Oh, Henley.
Henley Hoffman.
Yeah.
Rahm. Then I forget the other.
Spieth.
It was Spieth or Ricky.
Yeah, obviously.
But yeah.
Wasn't any of my friends.
Backhand, it wasn't me either. It was I think it was a Roto Grinders guy.
Awesome.
Yeah. And Bergerson even tweeted out that the guy who won played 20 lineups in the Millionaire Maker and had 45% Sergio and someone else who missed the cut. It only takes one lineup.
Only takes one.
So Webb Simpson was an insta for me, and I jumped on Kevin Kisner right away as well. Kevin Kisner is 40-1 on Bet365. I grabbed him at 45 on Bodog. Not sure where that is now because I'm not looking at that.
Yeah.
I'm only looking at Bet365. But Kevin Kisner, we talk about course history for the Masters, right? Guys that have played well at the Masters tend to play well at the Masters every single year. Patrick Reed aside, really, because he kind of bucked that trend. But Kevin Kisner has Pete Dye experience. We just saw Kevin Kisner with no form go to a Pete Dye course in Austin and come second. He has lost in a playoff at this event before. He has lost in a playoff at Zurich before. He has lost in a playoff at the Players before. This is the perfect type of game for Kevin Kisner. He was in the mix down the stretch at Heritage last year as well. He's going to hit the fairways. He's going to hit his wedges. If he misses the green, he has an excellent short game. And when the guy putts on Bermuda, he's absolutely lights out. So you know how much I love Kevin Kisner. And he has the rare opportunity, Geoff Fienberg, to do, you know what?
What?
Complete the tartan slam.
That-
He won Colonial last year. You got to get the double tartan jackets on the go. Kevin Kisner for me, I'm in.
I'm so in on Kisner. He was my auto. You mentioned Simpson. I was kind of staring at Harmon
I'm giving
a little bit.
Listen, from this
there,
entire range,
but
Harmon, Cantlay, Hadwin, Grillo. You can make a case for any four of those guys. I kind of want to see which one is going to be 3 shots back come Sunday because they're going to be 20-1 to win then. I don't want to invest too much at the top. I want to save a real bullet or two for Sunday. I do.
I really like Cantlay as well. Maybe we'll get to that. But Kisner, you said it. Pete Dye courses just seem to bring the best out of him. Was in horrible form. Went to match play.
He's got the
Pete
eye
Dye.
for it. They fuck with your angles, like.
So yeah, Kisner, and I'm telling you, you're not going to find that higher than 35 at this point. At least on the books that me and you.
Kisner?
Yeah.
He's not. I guess when Grace got removed from the field, he's still 40 on 365.
I'm seeing 35s on Bodog and Will
Yeah.
Hill. 33 on Bodog. So
he's been dropped
your bet, I guess.
from 45 to 33 in the span of 2 hours.
It's pretty strong.
As the odds open, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, this Bodog, man, they always wait to last to put their odds out to try to react, and then they get hit right away.
Yeah. You like that one. Cantlay, sort of that in-between number.
You always have to like to miss the cut at the Masters, too. That's always a nice narrative to play here.
But I would lean Cantlay.
I think I would lean Herman.
As well.
Would you go Cantlay or Herman? Like, you can make a realistic case that your entire card, if you just wanted to play it this way, you could bet. Because I mean, Luke List is in this field too. Let's not forget. You could just play Herman, Simpson, Cantlay, Hatton, Hadwin, Grillo, and Kisner. That could be your 6-pack. They're all between 30 and 40-1. Like that's a really good looking card.
And that is usually the range I like to hammer in this event. Like I feel, well, we got Brian Big, but I feel like when Grace won here a couple years, like 40. You know, after a missed cut at the Masters where he sucked. So you can't.
Playing better at the Masters the last 2 years.
You can't
Him
read too
and
much
Keimer
into that.
are playing better at the Masters.
But I can't lie, Pat. I mean, as we'll go farther down, there are some bigger numbers, almost double these guys, and in some cases triple them that have caught my eye. But this is obviously the area where I'll be invested the most.
A corollary course to look at for this over the years is the RSM Classic. Another Bermuda coastal course. Austin Cook won it this year. So the leaderboard for the RSM Classic this year. Cook, Spawn, Brian Gay, another former winner of this event, Brian Harmon, Kevin Kisner, Chris Kirk, Andrew Landry, Bud Colley, who was the first-round leader here at the Heritage last year after an opening 63, Dirt McGirt, your buddy, Ben Silverman, Vaughn Taylor, Zach Johnson. In the year before that, if we go and look back, which will bring me to one of my bets, which I'll talk about here in a second as we jump all the way down the card, Mackenzie Hughes, Blaine Barber, Billy Ho, Norlander, Camillo, Furyk, Lovemark, Ollie, Patrick Rogers, Russell Henley, Stuart Sink, who's a two-time winner of this event. Mackenzie Hughes, I have zero faith in Mackenzie Hughes. He's 500 to 1 to win this tournament. I put in an each-way bet on him. Just why not?
It's a really...
Why is he 500 to 1? Wasn't he leading like the Honda after 2 days? Wasn't he in the mix there? Maybe he was first-round leader. I forget. But he gets it running on Bermuda. Like these are the types of courses that he can play well at. Not to say he's going to win at 500 to 1. Just get yourself in contention. Maybe a top 5. At each way, pay itself off very handsomely. But that's where I look at the very bottom of the card, just for fun if people wanted to know. But
where is William Bud Colley, as Bodog labels him?
Oh, William Bud Colley is 55 to 1.
Interesting.
I thought we were over, Bud.
I'll tell you what. I mean, you get into that next range. We just mentioned a lot of players, but there are some super talented players in this next range, in my opinion. Putting up numbers, one or two in specific that kind of really catch my eye, but I don't know if I'm going to play them.
Okay, so this next range, after Griot, Na, and Kisner, you go DeChambeau at 45, Molinari, Chappell, Ollie, Hoffman, ZJ, all at 50. Then Xander, Ryan Moore, Byung-Hun An, Bud Colley at 55, along with CH3. Then you drop down into Luke Donald, Jim Furyk, Jason Duffner, Jason Kokrak, Hostler, Snedeker, who's another former winner of this event, Matthew Fitzpatrick. Everyone always says this is the course where, hey, you got to use Matthew Fitzpatrick at the Heritage. His game suits it better than anybody.
Well, that and Valspar.
I don't think he's ever made the cut here.
He had a decent week at the Masters.
Yeah,
well, no, he had a good
nice
Sunday.
Saturday.
He had one nice round. Yeah,
so who were the names from there? Like, remember, this was where Bryson kind of hit the scene after the Masters as an amateur. He turned pro for this event. And then all of a sudden, boom, he was inside the T5. He's going to hit a ton of fairways. He actually has a decent amount of length. Although, it was funny, all those people told me about the par 3 competition when Bryson wasn't playing well. You know where Bryson sucked all week? Besides 3-putting every par 5? The par 3s. Not hot. Thanks, Bryson, for showing up.
There's just some really, like, Xander being 55 to 1 in this field is really insane to me.
I agree. I don't know how well
I'm going to bet it, though. That's the thing. Even like Byung-Hun An, where did we bet him 2 weeks ago?
Texas.
I don't know. I think him at 55 to 1 seems strong, and I'm a sucker for Ollie at 50.
Like I said, I'm leaving this card open to make some in plays. I rarely do that, and I worry that, let me again list some of the winners here. Wes Bryan, Jim Furyk, Matt Kuchar, Graham McDowell, Brant Snedeker, Brian Gay. What do those guys all have in common?
They putt lights out when they're heatered.
But it's not even, they putt lights
out. Or like that's their best asset. That is their number one skill set. That is what they do. And Luke Donald, too. Who's not a winner, but...
Short game, putting.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to bring the rest of your game with it, too, because it really, off the tee, just hit some fairways. You don't need to bomb it, because everyone can reach every hole here. But be pretty good with your irons. Have a short game to save yourself if you miss, because these greens are the smallest on tour. And just putt, man. That's why I like Kisner. And Webb, of all the years, Webb's finally putting well.
Finally putting great. He really is.
That said, I'm still going to bet Jason Duffner because he owes me money. 60 to 1. You know he was winning after 3 rounds here last year? Also, having a much better year putting. Won a career builder at Pete Dye course.
Yeah, I don't. It's a weird event because you get a lot of these guys like your not historically great putters, but like if you're Grillos or your Ons, like they'll just hit so many greens and reg you feel.
I would have a better feel for Griot, although the odds are worse. Like Byung-Hun An sucks at putting. Griot's heating up with the putter right now.
But it's also like even like your Scott Piercy who can't putt, but sometimes just like gets ridiculous.
So if we just want to search solely, I'm going to look over.
How bad is Bill Haas playing this year to be 100 to 1?
I feel like he was in contention at. He was like the first round leader.
Is he a Pete Dye player?
Yeah, he's won a career builder as well. He was involved in that car crash though.
Oh,
remember?
Yeah.
And I really haven't been paying much attention to what he's been doing.
No,
since. I know he came back But
Yeah, he played in the match play, didn't he? Or wherever.
No,
He
played at Valspar.
Yeah.
See, what has Bill Huss been up to? He also played Shell.
I don't know. Chris Kirk at 100 doesn't get you.
That was a look for me.
And can I mention someone else?
4 consecutive cuts made for Bill Huss. He's been putting actually quite atrociously. But the irons came back at Shell.
Do you know who was back at Houston? I think a bit.
Who?
A boy we've been betting quite a bit. Chesson.
Yeah.
Now getting 100 to 1. His proximity to pin was fantastic earlier in the year. Getting a little fun. Whatever he does.
Yeah. I don't know.
No?
He is. I mean, it's taken him weeks to shake off the Ender curse. Like almost a full month now.
Wasn't he like flirting with the leaderboard?
Yeah, in Houston, but for 5 straight events. After Tim finally picked him, we just glossed over Chappell, by the way. Well, Chappell is setting up to be sort of like the Brendan Grace type character of this course. Everyone was kind of on him. He was terrible at the Masters.
Is he hurt?
I don't think so.
So if he's not hurt, then I'm probably going to bet him. But I need more time.
I'm going to sort by Bermuda grass only. And I'm going to take a look at this.
Like Russell Knox?
Because I did this earlier, and when you're a member at Fantasy National, you can play around with all the settings all you want and just click on, I sorted by less than 7,200 yards and on Bermuda grass only. Do you know what that turned up for me in terms of which guys to take? Over the past 50 rounds, who do you think are the 5 best players in terms of strokes gained total on courses on Bermuda grass, sub 7,200 yards?
Charles Howell III?
Here are your top 6. Luke Donald, Matt Kuchar, Jim Furyk, Bill Haas, Russell Knox, who has a win at Travelers, by the way, another Pete Dye course, and Graham McDowell. If you sort that by the past 24 rounds, do you know who you get? In descending order, from 7 to 1. Kevin Na, Blaine Barber, Kevin Chappell, Brendan Grace, Luke Donald, Jim Furyk, and my one and done pick for this week, Jeff. Where was the last time Siwoo played well? Do you remember? Remember when he advanced out of the group stage at the match play?
Yeah, Pete Dye.
Pete Dye course. Remember when he
won
the Players last year? Where was the other course that he won? Oh, the Wyndham. Another course that doesn't require you to drive it all that far off the tee. Get hot with some irons. Get hot with some putters. Siwoo, baby. 110. This is the time. It's the worst number we've got on him in a year.
They know.
They know something's up with Siwoo. And he had a nice little round Saturday at the Masters. You know, I can't go against
Who
Siwoo.
does it more for you this week, Na or Griot?
Griot. I don't know if I'm going to take either, though.
And your boy John Ha can't make you move for 90 to 1?
I didn't even see Johnny Question Marks was in this field. No, the problem is, like I said, I want to save some of the bets. And I'll probably add 1 or 2, and you can check out the cheat sheet on facebook.com/thepme on Wednesday afternoon when I release the first round leaders. I think there's a better week to play some top 20s, some top 10s, and then try to really figure out where you want to hit this in play. But like I mentioned, Webb, Kisner, Duffner, I'm going with. And there's one guy that he's just supremely undervalued. And every time that I take him when he's horribly undervalued in a weaker field, he tends to at least show up.
Grayson?
Charles, man. Charles 90 to 1. Why is Charles? I know he's not playing well. But, give me a break.
He tweeted that he's feeling good.
You know where he putts well? Bermuda grass. 90 to 1. He's too good of a player to be.
And he I guess you mentioned Mackenzie Hughes as a really long shot.
Yeah, so 90 to 1 on Charles. That's with an each way. The Duffner's with an each way. The Siwoo's with an each way to the top 5. Ben Martin, 200 to 1. Another Bermuda Benny.
You mentioned Andrew Landry to me.
Yeah, 275 to 1, Andrew Landry. That might be more of a top 20, top 10, maybe first round leader.
Scott Brown, first round leader?
Of course. We're into that stretch of the year where you just need to bet Scott Brown blindly first round leader every week.
Ryan Armour's been playing some good golf at 225 to 1.
Another good accuracy guy, too. A guy that's not going to be at a disadvantage with his lack of length off the tee. What about Snedeker?
He's not for me, but
he's 66. He's won here.
I'd rather bet Duffner.
I mean, me too, because I bet Duffner. But who was the other one I was looking
Ross
at?
Fisher, 90 to 1 seems like a strong number. Do you think he's off? Something's off for an injury?
Well, he was hurt,
yeah,
but he's been playing. He just hasn't been playing well. But Chris Kirk is very interesting. Austin Cook has to be interesting here. I mean, he won the RSM. He's now 110 to 1. I feel like he's a better player than Ross Fisher right now, or Party Marty.
Lahiri, first round leader.
You like Lahiri?
I know you mentioned Horschel for a past result here.
At RSM.
He lost in that Mackenzie Hughes playoff.
Yeah,
win.
the 5-way playoff.
He missed like a 2-footer to take himself out on the first hole of that playoff.
What's he at?
200.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I need to go give a quick scan here to see what Billy Ho Train's up to.
What about Chalmers after his fantastic week in Houston?
Super Nintendo Chalmers, where he shot 80 on Sunday.
By
By the way, I did want to mention, the past 24 rounds, the best players on Bermuda grass putting are Kim, probably a first-round leader bet on him, Kevin Kisner, Charles Schwartzel, Jonas Blixt, who did win a Pete Dye event last year with Cam Smith.
Cam Smith, I saw him.
Webb Simpson, Super Nintendo Chalmers.
I mean, this is like where like
Graham McDowell, Peter Malnati, John Senden, Brian Gay, Jonathan Bird, Terrell Atten, Ali Schnadajans, Patton Kazire, Brennan Grace, who's out of the field, Steve Stricker, Luke Donald.
I won't bet Jonas Blix, but he shows up on a leaderboard.
Oh, twice a year, man. Twice a year, you
like
get your
some 7-under round.
Well,
like,
also,
just insane,
do you remember the one big tournament that he almost won the Masters one year when he came second, but he almost won the Players too, another Pete Dye course. There's something weird with Jonas Blix and these Pete Dye tracks. Also, worst putters on Bermuda in the field over the past 24 rounds: Garrigus, Fisher, Charles Howe, Ryan Palmer, Poulter, Piercy, Points, Bryson, CT Pan, VJ, Henry. Oh my God, Darren Clark is in this field?
No, he isn't.
He is. Bill Haas, and then Siwoo. Wow. Siwoo's been really struggling with the putter. But, hey, maybe gets it flipped, gets those irons working again, likes these Pete Dye courses. Let's go Siwoo.
Corey Connors?
Nah.
Okay. And not so much for betting, but you know who looks like way less of a dork in real life than they do on the golf course?
Who?
We saw a lot of them this weekend in Canada.
Oh, David Hearn.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's playing this week too.
Looks like just a normal, cool guy. But on the golf course, he literally looks like he looks completely different without the hat, glasses, golf attire look.
I liked him on the cover.
I liked him more than it's been Weir and Brad Fritsch in like the past. This was the best it's been in a while.
Hearn was good. He's just not good at TV yet. But he has like real analysis, which is really nice.
Yes.
It's just he doesn't quite know how to hold the microphone yet. He's real stiff.
Everyone else was picking Rory yesterday. He picked Ricky.
Yeah, Ricky's gonna make a run.
Yeah, Ricky's running at this thing, right where he wanted to be.
And then they cut over to Bob Weeks. He's like, "Let me tell you about this winery that's right around the corner. I don't really know much about the golfs, but I'll tell you all about the wine and the vineyards." I need to replace that guy with me and you, by the way. It would be a whole different feel to the TSN Masters coverage. Me, you, Duthie, and David Hearn.
Wow. Wow. And it's
was Graham DeLette not available?
He's like a sourpuss, though. I don't know. Doesn't he
get... He's hurt, for one thing. Maybe he can't physically sit there like this for 8 straight hours, but I like DeLette.
Yeah,
This was a DeLette track, too. Remember, DeLette was one off the lead.
Absolutely. This is where he hits all his greens and rag and maybe get...
That was the point that I wanted to make. I wrote this up in my column on DK Playbook this morning. He was hitting over 85% of greens in regulation through 3 rounds last year. And he was 1 shot off Duffy going into the final round. What happened in the final round to poor Graham DeLette?
Chipping?
He stopped hitting every green in regulation, and he had to rely on his short game, and it was game over for Graham.
That sounds like Graham.
It does.
Because if he's got birdie putts, even though he's not a good putter, if he has 17 birdie putts on the day, he hits a few of them.
Yeah. So a player like that can contend here, but, I mean, this is on the coast. The wind can pick up at any time. You need to have a short game, or at least be a decent enough putter to make some 15-footers with ease, which is always tough and something really hard to rely on. But if you're someone who's going to end up missing the green, because everyone does, like I mentioned, smallest greens on tour. I think the average green regulation rate at this course is 58%. So yeah, when you're hitting around 90%, you're going to be good. It's unsustainable. So guys with bad short games that you might not want to target this week unless they're just lights out ball striking. You got Matt Every. Who are some real guys here? Ben Ann, Spawn, Sink, Chesson Hadley, awful around the greens. Martin Flores, Sam Saunders, Corey Connors, Sung Kang, Dylan Fratelli.
How hard are these green? Because like I don't want to overreact to how amazing I've seen Grillo putt. Because don't we know Houston was like the simplest 10-footers on tour?
Yeah. I mean, you're not going to get, there's not a lot of 3-putts here because the greens are so small. Yeah. But I mean, that was bent. This is Bermuda. It's always going to be a little bit different. In terms of past course conditions, if we look at it, firm greens, 2007, 2016, they've been very firm. And the green speed was fast last year. Generally, it plays around average on the stimp. And the wind was really calm last year, and usually it's a bit windier. So, I mean, I wouldn't rely on those guys with the short game, because if you're really relying on guys with good short games as your only predictive metric, then you're not relying on the guys who are actually getting birdie opportunities. You're just getting guys that are saving par. But over the past little bit, oh, look at this. Remember I was telling you about the guys that have played really well here over the years? Aaron Baddeley, another past winner. #1 around the green over the past 24 rounds. Kevin Na, Laird, Hadwin, Sabatini, List, Leishman, Moore. Ryan Moore at 55 to 1 is interesting, by the way.
I know this might make
He was very Andercursed all week.
This might make you throw up in your mouth. But this guy, I feel, has been playing pretty well. Harris English.
Has he been playing well?
Has he not?
I don't know, man. Like, I never pay attention to Harris English. Let's see. Harris English. In my custom stat model over the past 24 rounds, he's 40th.
Do you know who I think I really want to bet
Let's
here?
see. Harris English. So far this season, 11th, 8th, miscut, 33rd, miscut, 22nd, 5th in Dominican Republic, miscut.
Take that all back.
Brutal off the tee.
Everything you've said about this place actually has me going back into that 33 range.
Herman, man.
Hadwin.
Hadwin, yes.
Hadwin.
Do you worry about the guys that played the weekend at the Masters? Because I don't think any of them have won since Kuchar won, like 4 or 5 years ago. And listen, Patrick Reed just bucked every Masters trend, so it's not a real thing. But I'm just saying, does that concern you? Because everyone puts their whole season on prepping for the Masters.
Yeah, I compare it.
It's a big. It'd be like if you played something the week after the Super Bowl.
I literally like the golf. To me, it's a mini version because I know the Olympics are once every 4 years and there's 4 majors a year. But anyone who's good enough does everything they can to peak for those 4 days. And usually after the Olympics, like a bit of a
Also, if Hadwin wasn't an RBC guy, do you think there's a chance he's playing this week? Because he doesn't need to play this tournament he plays this tournament. Like, it isn't one of the ones he has to play.
But isn't this a tournament that works for him?
I would
Shorter driving distance,
absolutely.
small greens.
I think on paper it sets up
like
for him
this is where we
perfectly.
can get a trophy. Those are the tournaments I would be entering.
Are you talking me into Adam Hadwin here?
I'm just saying, every metric by this conversation of this course brings me back into that range to lean to Hadwin.
Custom stat model power rankings over the past 24 rounds. I'll give you a guess. We'll play like Stump the Schwab style. I have my top 10 in front of me. Can you name the people inside the top 10 past 24 rounds? I'll let you know if they're on the list or off the list. You get 3 strikes.
In this field?
In this field.
Well, obviously Paul Casey.
Number 2.
And like obviously Kuchar.
No.
Okay, that was a silly guess.
That's strike 1.
Grillo.
Grillo is number 11, so that's an
He's been playing so well. I guess they didn't count as India.
They don't count as India, no.
That's right. Hatton.
No.
You mentioned all his recent finishes. Have all been strong? Okay, so I suck.
Yeah.
I've already lost.
Luke List, number 1.
I was playing a different game.
Paul Casey.
Yeah.
James Hahn.
Yeah.
Adam Hadwin. Webb Simpson. Zach Johnson. Dustin Johnson. Bryson DeChambeau. Ali Schneider-Jans. And Kevin Chappell are the top 10. It's a very interesting field. It's tough to figure out. Maybe I will go in on Hadwin because that range. Simpson, Kisner, but like if you told me, I'm really torn between Hadwin and Harman, and Cantlay for that matter. Cantley's potentially the best player in this field who gives a shit about playing this week. Not to say that Leishman and
Kuchar,
Dustin and Kuchar.
No, but
and
if
Casey
you take
don't.
Casey and Dustin
like
out, you can make the case Cantlay is pound for pound the most talented man teeing it up.
I wonder what. Where's Harman at? Harman, as we know, he made that run at the Travelers a few years ago, which is a Pete Dye course. And Paul Casey, again, Pete Dye player. Bubba, they lost to that year. But if I look at how he's done at this tournament in the past, I didn't really do much research on him. Brian Herman, 9th last year, miscut, 44th, 7th. Just made the cut at the Masters. Made it out of the Dye sectional at the match play. I'm really torn, man. Like I said, you could make a really good card by just betting these guys in the 30 range.
You bet like
really
633 to 1 guys, right?
Which is, yeah.
So you do like Hadwin, Kisner.
If it was me, I would do Herman, Hadwin, Cantlay, Webb, Kisner.
You wouldn't find room for Hatton?
I might find room for List over Hatton. Because you know my crippling addiction to Luke List.
Hatton might actually hit that putt that you need, though.
Hey, how dare you besmirch Luke List? He doesn't need to make putts. He puts everything to 2 feet.
Yeah. And sorry, you were given an Austin Cook rundown, too. That sounded attractive.
It's just he won the RSM. He got to the Masters. Like, I don't think he had any expectations of winning the Masters. Like, he and Cantlay kind of set up like that Brendan Grace type winner to me. Where they're good players. Cantlay obviously a much better player, but you're also getting 1/3 the odds than you would on
a lot of bunkers here?
That I don't know. Not a ton. I mean, there are, but I don't know what the exact numbers are.
I'll say this. Cantlay missing the cut at the Masters makes the bet much more advantageous than him having gone out the weekend.
Yeah,
but I also like Hadwin, though.
And if you look at the guys that are at the very top of this, DJ, Casey, I mean, Kuchar kind of tailed off on the weekend. Leishman, Cam Smith, these guys were deep into Sunday. Even Webb was too, but he got his round out.
They all got big paychecks.
Yeah, but Webb got his day out of the way early, chipping in from everywhere. But yeah, I think Hadwin would be next for me in that range. It's a fun card. I'm actually quite excited.
You mentioned this is one of your favorites of the year, even though you come in like everyone's sort of burnt out from Masters.
It gives me excitement. I love the 18th hole here. You hit that big drive. It's like it's the one with the lighthouse in the back, like the iconic shot of it. But it's a really cool fairway because you can hit it out of the fairway. It's like you're on the tee box. And you go up, and then there's like a gully that comes in like this, and you have to keep it before the gully or go to the right. Remember when Brendan Grace won? He just smoked it out to the right and just middle of the fairway.
Is this where Matt Jones chipped in on Kuchar? Is that at the Lighthouse, or is that Houston?
I believe that was in Houston, because that was the year that all 4 Aussies won all 4 Texas tournaments.
Then that would make more sense. I just have pictured the Lighthouse and Kuchar.
I feel like, I might be wrong on this, because he might have another win sprinkled in there. I don't think that Matt Kuchar's ever won at a course that hasn't been a Dye or Nicklaus design.
Players Memorial, Dove Mountain.
Did he win Dove Mountain? I thought he came second. He won the match play?
Very confident one.
Is that a PGA course?
Might have been.
I don't remember on that one. Yeah, it's just weird. He has the right game for it. Course management's a big key. That's why I won't take that's why I think Bryson actually makes a lot of sense. He's smart. Grayson probably lacks some sense. He's just gonna rip it. Like guys,
and I guess if on the trends of never winners, not in Molinari if that's your thing.
Yeah, if that's really the theme of the year, guys that can't win finally winning, then Molinari is a lot.
And Howell, but Howell, I like those other guys maybe more.
You know what? I'm gonna bet Kevin Chappell. Through our discussion, I've been talked into him at 50 to 1. Talked myself into. I just want to do it. Stupid Kevin Chappell.
Well, I can't bet a guy. Yeah, I mean.
I just bet him to win the Masters.
Yeah, that's sort of where I was going. You just
bet him at 110 to win the Masters. I'll bet him 50 to 1 to win the stupid Heritage. Maybe he's a better number on. Are you on Bodog right now?
It's a 50.
It's a 50. It's 50 everywhere. All right, I'll take that 50. All right, so let's finalize our Monday card again. Like I mentioned, that if you want to see my full picks, first round leaders, Facebook.com/thepme. I am going with Webb, Kisner, Chappell, Duffner. Okay, Webb, Kisner, Chappell. Those will be outrights. Outrights on Duffner, Charles, Siwoo, Ben Martin, and Mackenzie Hughes. All those are each ways and not super huge bets. Maybe a decent sized bet on Siwoo, but at 110 to 1, doesn't need to be that big. And I'm only betting Jason Duffner because I feel karmically he does owe me. What do you think?
About the Duffner pick?
Yeah.
Good luck.
Thank you.
For me, Kisner, Hadwin, Ollie.
We didn't even really talk about Ollie.
We kind of glossed over. Maybe I said I'm in on him.
This is where he gagged last year.
I'm a
He
sucker.
kept missing every 4-foot putt.
I'm a sucker for Ollie, and this is one of those layouts where, you know, when we did
Bermuda,
our
windy,
preview
keep the ball
show,
low.
yeah, the ball flights.
This is one of his
like,
tournaments.
Thought there might be Florida and Valspar. I thought certain Florida tracks could work for him, but sticking up this coast, that's really where I think it could work. And 50, I don't know. I thought maybe I could get a little more just because he's kind of been forgotten about, and like the concept of him being shorter at the same price of Chappell and shorter than like Xander. It's kind of like
It's baked in that he played well here last year.
it's definitely in the recipe, but I'm a slut for Ollie, so I'm not getting off that. As you go farther back, Billy Horschel at 200.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Billy Horschel.
Really just might need to put a couple bucks on something like that.
He had a really disastrous.
Chris Kirk and Austin Cook also in that.
But that's that's why I can't take too many shots at the top, and then why I probably want to play some more top 10s, that kind of thing, because I think the top 10s or even top 20s on some of these guys are far more. I mean, yes, the 200 to 1 is very appealing for Billy Horschel to win, but his top 20 is going to be like, I don't know,
More
14 to 1.
Yeah.
That's not bad, and I have more faith of him coming top 20 than actually winning. And I have guys on my card already that I like.
Yeah. And even his top 5 would pay as much as like Harmon winning, or almost.
He'd pay half of it.
Yeah. Sorry.
Well, yeah, his top 5, yeah.
Yeah.
His top
like
5
it
would
pays
pay
you almost out like a close to 30 to 1. Or no, 28 to 1 maybe it would pay.
For what, on Horschel?
Yeah.
Top 5? No, that'll be like 33, 40 to 1.
That's what I mean. It's like paying
Just say
out
it.
like as any of these guys that that range.
Here's the form right now for Billy Horschel coming in.
Uh-oh.
So far, in 2018, tied for 11th Tournament of Champions, tied for 54th at Farmers, tied for 43rd in Phoenix. Miscut, 54th, miscut.
How the hell was he at the Tournament of
He
Champions?
beat
when had
Day in that
great win?
playoff,
And
remember?
then we
Day missed
found-
like the
yeah.
2-foot putt.
And then we found out about his wife. And,
Yep.
Yeah.
But he's someone that can just pop at any point. I will be giving a long look to J.J. Spawn, too. Played well here last year. Maybe he's over his injuries. But again, shorter course where he can take advantage of the ball striking if he's back to 100%. We'll see. One and done picks for the week. You won last week. It is your pick.
Hadwin.
You already picked Hadwin at one point, I think. If you haven't, I'll give you Hadwin, but make a contingency pick in case you've already used him.
Oh, where was would I've used him where he was the Valspar? That might
No, I used him at Valspar, so
So then I would.
he's open to
There's
you.
nowhere else I would.
Yeah,
use,
that's true.
So,
So you have Adam Hadwin.
yeah.
Really should go Kevin Kisner. I want to roll the dice a little bit. See, woo!
Nice.
Coming at you, 110 to 1. One and done winner, Jeff. What you got?
You said the books are on to this because the numbers we've been getting.
Yeah, like
for-
250, 200.
Yeah, they've slashed him in half, really based on not great, like nothing form that should say it.
Pete Dye form, Bermuda form.
It's true.
And then I'll be giving myself chloroform by the end of the week when he misses the cut. So always fun. Anyway, that'll do it on the Pat Mayo Experience. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Remember to give the episode a like and follow Fienberg on Twitter at GFienberg17. Any final thoughts from you, sir?
Just Ricky, keep your head up.
Ricky to miss the cut parlay with Bubba Watson at the U.S. Open. There's a bet for you.
Oh, both of them missed the cut.
Yeah.
Shinnecock.
Yeah. Do you think Bubba's gonna have a real
Rory,
fun?
I will agree. Rory is the guy. Like, I'm going to a baseball game or something. I'm like gonna make a Rory with that baseball game parlay to win the U.S. Open.
I like it.
It's time to start. Or if you're betting that NBA playoff game or NHL playoff game.
Before we actually do get out of here, I want to take.
You want NHL playoff picks?
No, I absolutely do not want.
I
NHL
couldn't
playoff picks.
even give them to you. But
I saw Cust released his.
does he watch a lot of hockey?
No, he doesn't watch a lot of anything.
Watches a lot of golf. He really does.
He does now. Ever since he's been pulled into the vortex, he watches a lot of golf. It's not so much the U.S. Open, the Open Championship. I saw Jordan Spieth coming inside the top 8. Keeps together my each-way parlay of Rory, Spieth, and Sergio for all the majors.
And Ricky was my pick on that part, like the $2 parlay I made with all the majors.
Oh, was it?
And even though
I
I
had Spieth for
I'll
it.
just tell you this: even though I would have won huge money on Ricky, if I were to post any winning ticket from yesterday, it would have been that major parlay still alive.
Open Championship odds suck right now. I really wanted to bet Fleetwood. He's down to 25 to 1. Give it a few weeks; it'll come back down to earth unless he wins.
Where's he gonna play next, Fleetwood?
Is everyone just waiting till? No, Fleetwood's playing with Chris Paisley at Zurich. They just announced that this morning. Paisley was
Zurich's like.
Yeah, but it's you get some die reps in. I'm betting 100% at that tournament. I can't wait to bet that one.
No, I like it. I like the format. I think it's a fun change of pace.
Scheifele at the Open?
U.S. Open.
No, Open Championship.
He had a great U.S. Open last year, didn't he, Scheifele?
Yes, he did. Him and Trey Mullinax. And then it was Xander who broke out, and Trey Mullinax went back to the back of the pack.
I'm seeing Siwoo as low as 80
On Bodog?
on Will Hill. So I'm
I'm
just telling you, there's a get in on Siwoo.
He's still 110 to 1 on
Yeah.
Bet365 right now. Anyway, we've taken up way too much of everyone's time. I'm Pat Mayo. You can follow me at the PME on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, where my bets will be posted on Wednesday afternoon. Check out all my work up on DKPlaybook.com. Tomorrow, Heritage, DraftKings picks, and preview with none other than Ben Chaza, coming off a $200,000 plus win at the Masters. He won the Thunderdome. I don't know if that was like net profit, but that's the screenshot. It was like 250 grand. So Ben knows what he's talking about. So we'll have him back on to talk about that and the guys that you should be taking for the Heritage this week. I'm Pat Mayo. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.
Pat Mayo Experience! Experience!